What a relief, hey. City have just beaten Wolves 2-0. Only Wolves. I know. I'm already seeing people say that online. It was just Wolves. They're crap. I know. But we needed that. We needed that result today. 2-0 against Wolves is massively appreciated, especially given the circumstances around the 11 today, given the rotated players, new names, returning names. We needed that result today, and we got it. Not a great second half, a little bit woeful. And not woeful, probably just lethargic and sort of uninspired in that second half. And overall, not much more than a 6.5 out of 10 level performance. But the context is everything, given where we've just been. Given that Wolves are actually in decent form as well. Yeah, unbeaten in 4. Been good since the turn of the new year. And that was not a guarantee given the week that we've just had to be an absolute walk in the park. And I don't think it was. I think Wolves showed a bit of physicality and a bit of aggression. But City were too good for them today. And that was a performance that we needed. And I enjoyed it, because the thing for me is that we showed a killer instinct that came from what we've been crying for, depth in the squad. Today, to me, was all about the return of the depth and what it means for Manchester City Football Club. We've been playing Phil Foden and Erling Haaland, despite their form being poor, for absolutely ages, because we've had no real choice. We've been playing Jeremy Doku because we've had no real choice, and Elaine and Ake because we've had no real choice, and Rico Lewis because we had no real choice. Where today, we had a whole bunch of players returning to that 11, namely Mateus Nunes, Mark Gay starting, not returning, but starting, available, Semenyo, Bernardo Silva, and Marmoush. 5 players started today that didn't the other day, and it was absolutely needed. You know, that change in personnel, that freshening up of the Manchester City side, it brought new ideas, new energy, and a different way to play, dynamism. And of course, then you look at the subs that we could have brought on in the second half, and we did. Phil Foden, Haaland, Doku, all off the bench today, with Aït-Nouri, Macassar, Lewis as well available if we needed them. But that shows you what we've been calling and crying out for a while, that actually we do need that. We do need that depth right now, because this City side it's been sort of suffering on its feet. It's been dead on its feet for an awful long time, and that showed today the value of the squad and what you can get if you actually have the players available. Guardiola said many times, give me my players and I'll show you that we can win games. He said the other day, quite arrogantly, which I like, but confidently, that when he had all his players, he won 8 games in a row. And I think that's fair. I think that's absolutely fair. I think today showed that when we have our players, we can do decent things. Absolutely. Super chats from Danny. Thank you so much, Danny, with a super chat. Get yours in if you want to. It does help support the channel. And of course, I'll get involved in your comments. Danny said, thought today we were good. Defence was amazing. We controlled the game very well. Wolves really didn't do anything. Gay was a beast, and Bernardo. I agree with all that, mate. I thought we were good today. Wolves were decent, actually, but City kept them in their pocket quite well. Gay, I'll get into Gay in more detail later, but I absolutely agree. I thought Gay looked an absolute quality player, and Bernardo brought all his experience today. Bang on, Danny, my friend. Thank you so much, Danny. And I think it was another from Danny, is it? Yeah, Danny said also some rust, but finally we had a good squad, and Semenyo was a killer. If we had this defence the last couple of games, it would have gone better. I think that's unquestionable for what it's worth, mate. I think Elaine's done really well in difficult circumstances, but I think Gay is a step up, and Nunes, of course, brought an awful lot of balance to this City side that we've needed. No complaints whatsoever from me of this, and I think you're right, Danny. Look, the title of this video to me was The Killer Instinct Returns, but I think that's something we've been lacking, and I think a lot of that comes from having hunger and players wanting to push each other. I've talked an awful lot about having no real options for Haaland to rotate. Today, Omar Marmoush started, and he scored a really, really good goal. Nunes back in the side against his former club, didn't shirk either. Had a really good game at right back, Nunes. A delightful cross. It's a beautiful cross, but to me, the key takeaway from that goal is the absolute aggression of Marmoush to get ahead of the defender. It wasn't dangerous, in my opinion. He was more than reasonable height where he got his foot, but he was just more aggressive, and he got to the ball ahead of the defender, put it in the back of the net. It was a really good finish that is not guaranteed, and it's the kind of goal Aguero scored an awful lot, and it's the kind of goal that Haaland hasn't been scoring recently. The Haaland scored lots of them, but recently he hasn't scored a lot because he's been, maybe a little bit lethargic, caught in a malaise, form off a little bit, whatever it has been. The dynamic Haaland at the start of the season hasn't been there. And then you look at the other goal as well. Semenyo, a beautiful finish for his third goal in a City shirt. It should be 4 and 4 if we're being honest. But either way, he cut inside with a delightful first touch on his right foot to open his body up, and just inside the area, curled it into the bottom corner. An Henry-esque finish, actually. Very Thierry Henry-esque finish with his left foot. Obviously, Henry with right foot usually, but into the far corner. Beautiful. Absolute killer instinct from those two players. Real forwards goals. And I've talked an awful lot in the past about how, I feel like we lack killers, that mentality. And I look at the players coming to the side today. Bernardo Silva absolutely has the mentality. Marmoush wants to score and believes he will score. Semenyo wants to score and believes he will score. And Mark Gay in that defence believes he has the ability to play at the highest level and clearly does. The mentality shift in this team today rocketed. It absolutely did. And yeah, I'm just buzzing because I don't think this was a special performance, but I think it was an encouraging performance given the week we just had, given the United game, given the Bodo Glimt game, and given the amount of chances, changes. Foden, Doku, Haaland. If you told me, 3 months ago they'd be sat on the bench for this game when fit, I would have probably been shocked because they were in remarkable form back in September or whatever, and it's dipped a little bit. September, October, those guys were flying. But today, we got to rest them and bring them on later, and it was a performance built around a really solid team effort today. I'll go for everyone individually. I thought Donnarumma didn't really have anything to do today, did he? Did he have any big saves today to make? One save, and I think that was from when he missed a corner, wasn't it? And it hit the back of his hand. Yeah, he didn't have much to do today, Donnarumma. He was absolutely fine. He did his job perfectly well. Fair play to Donnarumma. I thought Nunes, of course, had a really good game. That back line, by the way, Kusanov, Gueye, O'Reilly, Nunes, that must be the most physical back line that we can name, right? They're all leggy, strong, athletic players who eat up ground, and I don't think anyone ran away from any of those defenders today, and that makes a difference. We're in an era of Premier League players where you have to be physical, you have to be aggressive. And they were, And I've already seen people say it's just Wolves. And look, I know, I don't analyse the team, the playing games. I analyse the performance and what the players did always. Wolves haven't been, Wolves have been in decent form since the turn of the year. Drawing against United, beating West Ham, drawing against Everton, drawing against Newcastle. They've not been incredible, but they have been in decent form, So we have to take them reasonably seriously because they've had an upturn in form. And we beat them today pretty comfortably in the end, I would argue. But I look at the defensive back line today, and I thought Gueye and Kusanov, there was a really natural partnership. Look, I'm not saying either of them was special, but Kusanov today, pinging passes over the back line for a great Marmoush chance that should have been a penalty. Gueye with a ball over the top to Semenyo for a decent chance as well, which he probably could have done better with. But both also swept up everything really nicely. O'Reilly, leggy, aggressive, really good defending. Likewise for Nunes on the other side. Of course, Nunes got an assist as well. Yeah, the defence looks really good. A very balanced defence. And I like that. I think this is an athletic back line, and they didn't give the ball away. They were composed in possession. Gueye, in particular, had a really... Look, he's obviously quality. He just obviously is. You can just sense it, 93% pass completed today out of 102, 95 passes completed. 102 passes on your debut was really, really nice. Kusanov won't be quite as many, but still, he was really composed as well. He completed 97, 71 passes, 69 completed. Key pass as well for him, likewise for Gueye. They were really good together. Still, as I said, Kusanov still has those little things where he shoulders someone and gives them a free kick, which he needs to cut out, but he'll get there with time. Only 21 years old. But I think the defence today was young, youngish, athletic, strong. That's a much better defence than we've had recently, and I think it made a massive difference to City today. I don't think we were electric going forward. I think we had some moments of creativity which were good. I think Reinders was a passenger, unfortunately. Reinders still needs to do more. I would always, as much as I think he's not doing that great right now, I think Reinders, he scored a few goals recently, shows that he can finish. He's a good dribbler, but I think he needs to insert himself more on this Manchester City side. I would also like to remind people that it takes a long time for some players to adapt to the speed of how City play in the Premier League and so on. Nunes is in his third season now, only just made it. Gundogan was actually, there was a little bit of a narrative around Gundogan of frustration for the first 2 years of his City career until he found a slot in the team. I'm not saying in these 2 years, Reinders, but I'm saying it can take a little bit of time to get up to speed. Reinders is not getting there yet, but the difference is we actually had Foden to bring on today, and hopefully we'll have Nico Gonzalez and so on, and maybe Elliot Anderson comes in the summer, and all of a sudden the dynamic looks a lot better, Rodri was fine today. Rodri had a decent game alongside Bernardo Silva, who got an assist, of course, as Semenyo. But Bernardo and Rodri today with the experience, if not necessarily the glamour that this City side needed. They kept the ball nicely. Bernardo was effervescent, bubbling around and doing the dirty work. Rodri was a lot more Rodri than he was the other day. A lot better on the ball. A nice key pass over the top as well. Still like nowhere near his best, Rodri, but it was fine, Shirky, I didn't think was that good today. He didn't come off for him, but that's fine, Hook today, probably the right call. I thought Shirky didn't. He was bubbly and tried things, but not everything he did came off today. Of course, he's always got a key pass or whatever, but he didn't really create any big chances, which is very un-Shirky-esque. And his dribbles, he got caught on the ball a few times. That will happen. It's fine. I'm not worried about it in the slightest. But the big difference for me is, once again, you look at the quality of the finishing for Semenyo and Marmoush. Marmoush probably should have won a penalty as well with his touch inside, which was... The penalty is a penalty. Unquestionably a penalty. Now, my opinion of what I think handball should be isn't relevant to this, but I'm of the opinion that handballs are too soft. I think rarely handballs are intentional, and a player, I think replays, I'm going to defend the decision here a little bit, because I think replay, though that's not what I would say. I think there should have been a penalty based on the rules, but my opinion of what penalties should be, I think you shouldn't use slow motion replays ever. I think they create an unrealistic picture of what time looks like. They create a picture where players immediately flick their arm up in response to a touch. No, it's instinctive. Usually the body movement happens before they know what's happening, and because they don't react in half a second, you never get a chance to. So I think largely, I think most handballs shouldn't ever be handball, but based on the rules, that should have been a handball. That should have been a handball based on the rules, that should have been a penalty, absolutely, and that should have been probably 3-0 at that point. We killed the game off. Semenyo, by the way, hitting the crossbar with a rasp of a shot. He didn't actually offer too much other than good defensive work and scoring a goal. He wasn't beating his man loads and creating chances, but he was effective. He scored a great goal. And 9 out of 10 passes completed. He hit the crossbar with another shot. Ridiculous effort, by the way. That other one where he rasped it with his left foot towards the top corner. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. He's a proper killer who is going to make a difference. And I think that mentality is everything. Fearless, goals, yeah, great. Overall, a good team performance today. Very 6-7 out of 10, but and needed 6-7 out of 10. That felt like an 8 out of 10, I would say. 1993 CGWG said, love the joy of keeping the clean sheet. Absolutely, mate. That bit at the end to me felt like a goal. It really did. The players were delighted to get that clean sheet. It was aggressive. It was powerful. And the blocks from Nico Riley at the end was so impressive because they needed to be done. He was chest out. He was buzzing. He was absolutely buzzing to keep a clean sheet. And that to me, is wonderful because that's what they need. Seeing Kusanov, Foden, Donnarumma, Gay, O'Reilly all embracing each other is the kind of thing where you build personality. I know it's not everything, but that camaraderie, that connection is massively needed, and I thought today City were good, and as Pogo said, Marmoush kept running in behind, and I think having that variety of players is what makes Man City good. You have to have good players and a good squad to win the league, and now if we can get you look at the bench, the people missing today. We had a good bench today. Nori, Haaland, Foden, Doku, Trafford, Ake, Elaine, Rico. Good options today. But then you look at the players out still. Nico Gonzalez, get him back. Get one of Semenyo or Oscar Bob back. And you can laugh about that, but we still need them. Every minute they're available is another minute for a player to rest if we need it. Guardiola, Diaz. It's good. There's good options there. It's really good options. And it makes a massive difference to City. By the way, 300 people watching, just 41 likes. Give me a favour. Give the video a like if you don't mind. It'd be massively appreciated. But that performance today was good. It was good. And we needed to see a City side today that the subs made an impact on. And they did. So I'm really happy with it. Really happy today. I don't think it was a classic. But I feel today was different. Today, City got the results, and I think the new guys, the returning guys, Gay, Semenyo, Nunes. Nunes is essentially a new guy in the role, isn't he? He feels like a new right back. Gay is a new player. Marmoush is still a relatively new player. Definitely is, in my opinion. Only a year at the club. Semenyo today, made a difference, and I'm really happy about that. And I think Semenyo, of course, isn't going to be a billion touches like Savinho, Docker and his man, but he's going to pop up and put the ball in the back of the fucking net. And I'm sorry, you need that every now and then. Bang! Roof of the net, bottom corner, wherever. He's going to score goals, Semenyo, and that is really, really useful. Gay, by the way, look, I think I saw someone say online, I can't remember who it was now, someone say that O'Reilly and Gay playing there together is going to be a massive boost for England, by the way. I think it gives Nico O'Reilly a partnership, and I think that's massively influential for his potential to start for England at the World Cup, because Gay is going to play that left centre-back slot, and it is really encouraging, because that's an actual partnership there. I just like it. I like I really like that partnership. When I look at Gay Kusanov, they are both aggressive. They are both very athletic. They are dynamic, agile players. They are both better passers than people realise. Gay, of course, we all know, but Kusanov's a better passer than people realise. And yeah, I've got a feeling we're really set defensively. We get Diaz and Guardiola back, and that's a cracking bunch of centre-backs. Get one of the young lads like Vitor Reis in a lane challenging as well. And you've got Vitor Reis back next season. You've got 5 cracking centre-backs there, and I like it, man. You've got a really good bunch of defenders there. Really good bunch of defenders. Yeah, I really like it. I think it's an obvious hit. Sometimes you see a player, and I laughed at, like, he was 10 minutes in, you could tell Gay was quality immediately. Like, yeah, he's obviously quality. You can see it. Really happy for Marmoush today as well. A lot of narrative around Marmoush. I didn't think he was going to play much football. The fact that he started instead of Haaland today, I really like it. I really like that. And Marmoush had to speak after the game. He said, we fought until the end, showed a very good mentality at the beginning. Pep said he wanted us to put our hearts out there and fight for every ball. It's important to score and help. I'm very happy to be here after AFCON and help my team. I saw Mateus broke through and it was a good finish. Happy for the goal and 3 points. We just tried to get our legs and minds fresh again, and then we go again. Nice stuff. Yeah, nice stuff from Omar Marmoush today, and we needed him. We need that quality, and Marmoush is a quality player. He's a really good player, Marmoush, and he's a natural goal scorer. Maybe not the most subtle player you'd ever meet, not as fluid as the people like Morris and so on, but the guy scores goals, and goals win you games. And sounds so fucking obvious, but yeah. It's goals are needed, and if you've got players who can score goals, get them on the pitch. It's not complicated. Semenyo and Marmoush, they score goals, and they showed that today. Yeah, absolutely needed, and really good stuff for City. Of course, I'm not expecting this to change everything, but I do expect that, like, this City performance today was slightly reassuring for some of these players. Yeah. Guys, a big result today, if not necessarily a great performance. These players answered a few of the questions. It was a necessary win today. 4 points behind Arsenal as it currently stands. I know a lot of people would laugh at this, and some people fully burnt on this and don't want United to ever win. But if United beat Arsenal tomorrow, all of a sudden, you know, the gloss that Arsenal had over us in terms of points gaps isn't there anymore. 4 points doesn't feel that bad. Stranger things have happened in football than City catching Arsenal. And I will keep thinking about that while I know that City can win games with the strongest 11 and players back on the bench. Because I think the City side is barely scratching the surface of what it's capable of. I truly believe that. I think we're going to get better and better and better. So just stay within touching distance and see where we are. By the way, the decision on Doku, the foul, it's ridiculous. Mascara scraping his foot down Doku's heel. So annoying. Lots of bad calls against us right now. Really lots of bad calls, and it's getting really frustrating to watch. Yeah, I'm bored of just aggression towards City's players. Yeah, but it is what it is. A good performance today, and a good win, and a needed win. Guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to go help get the players, the kids to bed. Remember when he said Marmoush can't play with Haaland in the team? I don't think I ever said that, to be fair. Did I ever say that? I've actually been saying I want Marmoush on the pitch more often on the left-hand side. So that's I said last season Marmoush played on the left or the right, getting central close to Haaland, and he was at his best there. So I don't recall saying that. I said I don't think it's likely that Guardiola won't play him at the same time, which I stand by, but I don't think it's likely that they play together. But I never said they can't play together. That's not true. I think they should play together more often, because they did last season. But I think Guardiola's playing as an alternative to Haaland as opposed to as well as. We'll see. Thanks for watching, guys, of the Blues. And I will see you tomorrow for 5 Things Learned. For now, though, have a wonderful evening. Gonna get the kids to bed. Bye-bye.